Okay, this is my trigger bar. It is no longer stock. It's shortened up approximately 40 thousandths. And what I did is I cut it right about in here. You can cut it anywhere along this flat somewhere and re-weld it. I had a cutoff wheel. It was about 30 some thousandths wide, and cut it. I measured from the apex of this hole here to the flat here and took the difference, and it was about 40 thousandths difference after I welded it. You can kind of see where it's been welded here. Now you might notice that this is backwards from yours. I didn't do that on purpose. I actually had it welded on the correct way, and I didn't have a good enough weld yet, and it snapped before I could weld the back side. So I went to regrind and weld it back up, and in doing so, I flipped it over the wrong way, and instead of cutting it back apart and redoing it, I just put this groove right here for the spring. I made a new one, put it along this side. So that's the only difference. It hasn't affected it in any way. The only other thing that I had to do to it was my hammer was coming back just a little bit further than stock. So I took down, I don't know if you can even see it. I'm not sure if this is going to focus well enough. No. You might be able to see it if I just move it around a little bit. You'll see a little flat along the lead edge of this top portion of it. I just kept filing it down until my hammer would break at the right point. I didn't want it coming back further than normal, and I didn't want it coming back any less than normal because I don't want any light strikes or anything like that. So anyways, it's pretty much the only thing I did to it as far as besides maybe polishing the inside of this here so that I have a smoother draw, or the trigger was a little bit smoother, and then putting in my trigger stop, which helped a lot in the accuracy, because then you don't have that snap of the finger, which actually transfers into the end of the gun and then makes you go off target a little bit. It made a huge difference. These two little mods made a huge difference in the accuracy of this gun. It wasn't bad before, but that long trigger pull, I mean, I couldn't get used to it. I tried and tried and I couldn't get used to it. I didn't shoot too bad, but it was always dropping to the left, lower. Now I'm right on target. I mean, hole for hole almost in 7 yards. But I don't know. I mean, if you've got any kind of welding skills at all, doing this mod was so simple. I mean, so simple. And a lot easier than messing with the hammer and doing all the other stuff that Galloway does. I mean, yes, the other things just drop it. This didn't cost me anything. Didn't cost me a thing. So if you're interested in doing that, I mean, it's like I say, simple. Just cutting that. The width of my cutoff blade was enough to, even if you did cut off a little bit too much, make it too short, you can make up the difference by filing on the back side of this until the hammer came into where you need it. But anyways, 40 thousandths. I wouldn't go any more than that. I mean 35 to 40 thousandths would be about perfect. Only other mod I did was take out that clip stop. I mean, really. Oh, and this little mod here, I don't know if you can see that. That little twang you get when the hammer goes. You might notice it didn't go twing when I pulled the trigger. All it is a piece of thick girl's hair tie that I cut off and then melted the ends and then shoved it in there. It doesn't affect it at all. I mean, it's like kind of like a bow. You put a dampener on the bow string to keep it from going twang. It's the same thing. Just made it feel better. Doesn't really affect anything. It's just more like a peace of mind. It not necessary, but it was kind of a neat little trick anyway. I came up with that on my own. Anyways, time to clean my gun. Sayonara for now.